Hello and welcome, I'm Tavara Gadamo. My guest today, Kaethe Hostetter, is an American violinist who for well over a decade has immersed herself in Ethiopian music. With her band QWANQWA, Kaethe has performed internationally, released 2 albums, with a 3rd one right on the way. Everyone, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
You became familiar with the Ethiopian music a year or 2 before you came in touch with Dobo Band in Boston, which is put together by Danny McConnell, one of the great Ethiopian saxophonists in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, well, actually, Danny was the person that introduced me to Ethiopian music, and we started Debo Band together. I'm from his leadership, but I was in the first batch that started Debo Band. I met Danny through mutual interests and mutual priorities, and we lived in the same neighborhood and had friends in common, and we came together in each other's lives from a lot of different directions, and he introduced some of the cassettes that he'd recently discovered in his family home to me and a few other people, and we started more of a practice group, actually, to learn the music. But, yeah, that group was practicing on Thursdays at my house, and then eventually I had a big space, and we were able to, pretty much anybody who wanted to learn the music was welcome to come join us. And, so it became a group of, maybe 15 people. But it wasn't really supposed to be a band from the beginning. It was just whoever was interested. And we were interested in the food and cooking, and we would hang out once or twice a week, learning and getting into this stuff. And the group grew from there.
And then were you attracted to Ethiopian music, if you will, love on first sight?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the first moment that I ever heard it, I was completely transfixed. And
what transfixed you?
Something about the spirit of it, the rhythm, and I think it was so mysterious and different, but very immediate, and so I just responded to it. Somehow I vibrated.
Is that as mysterious as in Broken Flowers?
Yeah, kind of like, yeah. That was definitely one of the first times I heard that music. It was around the same time that I met Danny. So, just sort of like it floated in. Something about the scale. I mean, the Anchihoye, I later found out what the scale was, and I was trying to piece together, figure out what it was that made me feel that feeling, and it was the playing of Getachew Mukuria and the scale of Anchihoye, and the relatable 6/8 rhythm, and this combination of things just, I don't know, somehow became more than its individual parts, and really
so it started making sense to you as a young girl raised and born and raised in the U.S., right?
Yeah, my background was that I have always been interested in music from all over the world, so I'm ready to hear something new and different. And I've been digging my whole life for music that's traditional in some way, or referencing traditional in some way, or from different pockets, different communities, and so I've always been ready for that and seeking it and digging for it, but the Ethiopian sound was just totally different for me.
So you felt you found it when you started playing Ethiopian music?
Yeah. I'm still looking for it. I'm still discovering more and more corners, but that was my first entry.
So can you play for us one of the pieces that you played early on?
I'd love to. When I pick up my instrument to play solo, I often like to begin with a zelesenya to mark the moment and sort of invoke the spirit of our time together.
That reminds me of Eastern music. Mm-hmm. Kind of figures that sense, right?
It does, yeah.
What do you feel when you play this? Opening a whole new gate.
Yeah, playing that song for me, it's just a moment to, recognize all the things that have happened to me since being here. And since learning, becoming close to the Ethiopian culture. And it's both like a macro thing, and I also am reminded of the person that I learned it from, Salam Nesh Zemene. She's an Asmari singer. And we play together in a few different ensembles. But she taught it to me, and I'm really reminded of our friendship. She's one of the first people I met on the first day that I ever came to Ethiopia.
That would have been with Double Band, right?
Yeah, with Double Band.
And then you actually you recorded about how many pieces, 7 or 8 pieces for Ethiopian television, the same broadcaster.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah.
So what was the reaction like?
Of
the people who watched.
Oh yeah,
you guys performing.
People still. I think it might still be in circulation, actually.
That was from 2009, right?
Yeah, 10 years ago now. So yeah, my first trip here. It's nice to circle back to that. And people, you know what? A lot of people remember the sousaphone because we were traveling with a huge tuba instrument. And
you started sailing well, and eventually ended up putting together and founding a musical ensemble known, that goes by the name QWANQWA. Mm-hmm. That is a quartet, including you, right?
Actually, we've changed. We're now a quintet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
so
recently.
You have one karar too, right?
Yes.
This is the bass one.
Yeah, we have karar, or we have bass karar, violin, myself, Masenko, drums, and the singer. Yeah.
So, and you have recorded what? You have produced 2 albums already?
We have 2 albums. One we just put out as cassette only. The second one we had vinyl and CD. Yeah, and no cassette for that.
And the vinyl, how many pieces of the vinyl?
I think maybe 500 or something like that. Limited. And we have our next vinyl coming out soon, so we're excited about that.
So soon, yeah. How soon do you think you're going to have that up?
Hopefully, we're working on the artwork now. So once that's done, should be, well, I don't know if in the West, vinyl is becoming more and more popular. And
resurgence.
Big resurgence. And the vinyl factories are kind of backed up, actually. So I have my name, the QWANQWA is in the pipeline. But once I get the artwork done, we'll be able to print it, I think.
Your second, or is it the first, is primarily instrumental, right?
Mm-hmm. Both the first and the second, actually all three of them pretty much are. So we really invited the singer recently, after we recorded the most recent album. The reason being is I wanted to bring the spotlight more on the musicians of Ethiopia, because it's clear to me that Ethiopian audiences are really sort of set to respond mostly to voice, and I was seeing all these amazing instrumentalists, and I wanted to give that more of a place, more of a stage. So by making a statement as an instrumental group, you make more space for the...
And you have plenty of renditions in there, and you're very experimental.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, so we source deep into the region. I mean, we play songs from like Ago and Afar region, and I mean, originally I was kind of just learning like Amharic songs, but now I've been digging deep in. And
you go actually beyond Ethiopia proper as well.
Yeah. We have a song that we learned from Mogadishu, a Blaine tribe song in Eritrea, and we're working on a Sudanese song now. So yeah, we want to kind of source from the region.
So is that a collective effort, or is there someone who plays the lead in terms of working on all these pieces?
Yeah, all the members of QWANQWA are deeply knowledgeable of traditional music and big listeners of different music from all over the world, really. And I would say that, we're all equally participating in the development of the music and the sources. Yeah.
But how would you describe your music?
Oh,
we have plenty of music bands, ensembles within Ethiopia and abroad, catering for Ethiopian audiences and the international audience as well.
True.
But focusing primarily on Ethiopian music. I mean, what makes yours any different from all those sorts of experimental bands that we find in and outside Ethiopia, focusing on Ethiopian music?
I think one thing that makes us distinct is that we utilize the karar, masenko, and traditional instruments. There's no saxophone, no modern drum. I would say that QWANQWA is distinct in the realm of modern Ethiopian bands in Ethiopia and abroad, because we utilize the local instruments, because we utilize masenko, karar, bass karar, and then sourcing deep into the region. Most of the Ethiopian groups might do like a Tigrinya song and stuff, but we're really trying to see what we can find from like southern tribes and all different kinds of stuff like that. I think that would be our distinction.
Does the audience know that you are that distinct? I mean, people who would come to watch you perform would be those who are interested in, as we've been talking about earlier on, into something funky, something different, but deeply Ethiopian, you know
right.
what I mean? So it's not like, you're not like catering for a huge audience. I mean, quite often
right.
it would be a very modest one. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've played a couple large concerts, but we've also played a lot of smaller, more intimate venues, as well.
You've been playing, pieces by very popular Ethiopian singers, right?
Right.
One would be the one that you're going to play for us, Bakalis, right? You obviously have given a very distinct color to that piece. Mm-hmm. You feel that way?
Yeah.
You perform around the world. With QWANQWA, you have done, what, a couple, three?
Yeah, and with
concerts
QWANQWA
in
as
Europe?
well. We've toured 3 times. We played at Roskilde, which is the largest festival in Northern Europe. We've played there, and we have some other exciting invitations this coming summer. We'll be leaving for Italy in about 10 days. So catch us in Milan and all around. So, yeah, we're excited about that.
So how do people react? I mean, the way, can you tell me the way they...
Well, we've had the opportunity to perform at so many different kinds of venues that some people really want to know what the music is, where it's from, what the lyrics mean, and we're trying to be able to read the different what the different audiences need from us. There are other audiences that just want to dance, so they don't care where we're from, and they're intrigued, but they just like it. And so for that kind of audience, we have a different kind of set. I mean, we have like many songs to choose from, so we kind of sculpt the shape of the set list depending on what kind of vibe we feel in the venue and what we expect the audience to be wanting from us. So
interesting, but how do you meet the demands of the inquisitive audience, if you will, who want to know more about what you
well, some
concerts
are set up with more time to talk in between songs, and maybe it's a seated audience that claps and wants to know wants to know who each of the members are and a little bit about it. So it's kind of built into the shape of the venue and how the seating is and the expectation of, the followers of the promoter. And I don't know, it just kind of is different.
So you started performing abroad in the wake of the Ethiopian series. Did
Absolutely.
it happen away in kind of...
Yeah.
How many CDs, how many albums do we have?
They might be
something.
Absolutely. I mean, the awareness of Ethiopian music, I think, is a lot to be credited to Francis and his projects. And he's been working tirelessly for, more than 20 years now on collecting this stuff. And it's permeated into the awareness of people of all ages and in all different kinds of scenes. There's a lot of different. So, I think that has paved the way for us a lot. And for my, my personal history as well.
QWANQWA in American means language. Does that go beyond the surface of it? What was it he trying to achieve by having that name?
Well, I think it was the word speaks to the communication that we're trying to bring with something that might seem really distant, but the sound of it can reach people like the way that Ethiopian reached me the first time I heard it, the first instant that I heard it. So it's sort of speaking to that moment, that it's communication, and that music is often said to be the universal language.
It's a kind of a two-way traffic. Is that about striking a conversation as you
Yeah.
you want to put it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a conversation. It's a communication. Yeah, for us, it's just about communication. And I love the shape of the letters in Amharic. I think they look so great, and it looks great in we spell it QWANQWA, so it's got these like cool shapes and circles and
Visually.
yeah, visually. So we liked that too, and I liked that glottal QWA thing. So yeah.
You're telling me that you're going to be around for a while.
Yeah. Keep watching us, and we hope to deliver a lot more music for you.
Well, Kaethe, thank you very much for your time here. It was really a pleasure having you on my show. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.